Welcome back to my channel here at Trade2G. My name is Sammy. Today we're going to chart APPS. This chart is screaming bullish continuation and reversal to the upside. So let's get straight into it. Guys, I'm presenting you the description of something called a rounding top formation. And let me minimize this. I'm going to leave this here for 2 seconds. 1, 2, take a snapshot. And now on the chart, on the 3-month time frame, folks, there's so many things that's going through my minds because as we start breaking down this story, there's like literally 3 to 4 bullish patterns on this chart. Okay, so one of the key things I noticed, one of the key indicators for a reversal to the upside is that the rounding tops perform better when they're tall rounding tops. Okay, let me repeat that one more time. The height of this pattern is the best performance is when the tall patterns perform better than the short ones. This is a very tall rounding top. Another key indicators from these rounding tops is that the left flip, when we launched off approximately $1.16, the left flip, when we based at 100 and we sold off for 98% for years, the right lip found a base literally at the launch pad, which was back in 2018, and we based exactly on the left flip. Again, that's another indicator for the 2 rims. That's another indicator to confirm the rounding top pattern. It says right here, support. The 2 rims are support areas. The 2 rims are support areas. That's indicator number 2. Okay? So, rounding top formation is the second best pattern in the entire market. And not only that, the best performings when they're both at the base, they're supporting base, which they did, and especially the right lip, and it's a tall one. But that's not it, folks. Let's keep breaking down the story. On the weekly time frame, folks, the pattern is working. Why? Because once price found the right lip, it completely launch pad. It completely lift up, and I want to show you something, okay? Now, this initial high, we had a rejection here around roughly $3.70. We had an initial sell-off for whatever reason. Maybe catalyst, it was bad earnings right here, right? But look at this, folks. We found the base, consolidated, and then we lift off, launch. So that's a valley. Then we had an exit. Liquidity, massive run to the upside. I mean, we're talking that was a 430% swing move. Okay. Then we found the rejection. We found the base. Now, we found a consolidation area around $2, but then look at what happens once we consolidate. Obviously, I'm on the weekly time frame, but if you turn on the daily, all right, you're gonna see multiple candles here, maybe 2, 3, or 4, and then we launched again. Okay, we launched again. So that's valley number 2. Valley number 2. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and now price. Once we had an initial higher high. Prior higher high, we had a higher high, and then once we launched up again, this high was previous from this high, and then we found another higher low, a new higher low. So do you see where I'm going with this? We have a high, a low, okay, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. So hello, do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, and not only that, this higher low, you just presented a scallop continuation bullish pattern on the weekly. On the weekly. This is a scallop, folks. Do you guys remember Palantir? Do you guys remember Palantir? What was Palantir doing for months and weeks? Yes. Launch. Yes, for months and weeks. Look at this. Scallops all day. Scallop continuation run all day. Scallop continuation run all day. You have the ripper, then the sell-off, then consolidation, then the ripper. I mean, we can draw scallops all day on this chart, and it will be infinite because Palantir is up only. But the point I'm trying to tell you is I'm trying to show you an example of what scallop patterns look like when you have bullish momentum to the side. And thus, what do we see here on APPS? Where are you, my guy? APPS. We're now showing a scallop on the weekly time frame. And if this scallop actually, the pattern actually pans out, This is the measurement rule. Well, once we break above the B zone, this measurement rule is going to in line with the 0.618, which is at 1863, which I highlighted in my Discord earlier this morning. Shout out to the Discord. You guys get the TA first. But this adds confluence because once you break above $5.90, or excuse me, once you break above $6, roughly $6, that 0.65 micro Fibonacci level, this is the confirmation measurement pattern for the rounding for the scallop on the weekly. That lands you around the 618 area at $18.63. Guys, we're not only creating new higher highs and higher lows, you have the second best performing pattern playing out. We have a 3 rise and valley potential pattern, and we have a scallop on the weekly. That's 3 bullish patterns on this chart, APPS. Okay? APPS. I'm not here to tell you, hey, go ahead and buy. No, I'm telling you, I'm looking at this chart, and it is screaming bullish. Bullish. The RSI is above the center line. Okay, let's go on the monthly real quick. Take a better look. This pattern, this chart, okay, the RSI has never, ever, ever gone into the bear zone, ever on the monthly chart, folks. And look at this beautiful rounding bottom formation, or at least what I see here. Look at this. Look at this. Rounding bottom on the RSI. That's not... Look at the monthly MACD above the center line. Okay, we crossed. Okay, and now we're seeing a little bit of momentum to the upper side. Okay, now obviously the histogram bar is showing a little bit of weakness on the histogram bar, but that's because we had initial sell-off, and these are great for momentum play to continuation. Because if you look at your positive DI, okay, if you look at your positive DI, what is it trying to do? It's not pointing, it's not vertically south. It's not looking south, right? It's not like this. It's almost as if it's trying to coil up again. It's coiling up again. And look at your delta. Look at your delta. 12 million bulls favoring the negative bears. Okay? Favoring, the bulls are winning by a long shot. A couple million over the bears. Guys, buyers are stepping in on this ticker. All right? Honestly, they didn't beat earnings. So somehow they missed. But apparently their financials is that they're actually working to flip into net profit. And it's coming soon. So what the market sees here is that I am looking at a potential 2x to 3x from here at these lows, because now price is finding wave continuation bullish pattern to the upside, because we found a new higher low, candles found the price at these lows at $3.77 and initially just completely bounced from there. And look at that, we're now making new higher highs and higher lows local. Okay, look at this pattern right here, folks. Don't take it from me, just look at the patterns. All right, we're trend traders over here at Trades2G, okay? What do you guys see here? Okay. Looks good to me. Now, obviously, you can argue it's in a bear flag, right? But bear flags have limitations, okay? We're above the 236, which is great, and now we're going to potentially get to the 382. Okay? We're above the 382. But that's not all, folks. Now that we're talking about the Fibonacci levels, okay, I drew the Fibonacci levels. Hold on, let me get this going for you guys. I drew the Fibonacci levels from the high to the low, from the peak high to peak low, okay? Let me just get hopefully it loads, okay? From the peak high, let me get this. Let's get rid of the lower time frame Fibonacci. From the peak high to the peak low, and let me make sure it's correct, okay? Okay. I want you guys to see something. Let me turn this off. Let me turn off the rays. And let me turn off all the little trend line, because it's going to get better from here, folks. Okay? It's going to get better from here. Okay? Guys, you're in a macro. You're above the macro 236. The macro from the initial 101 to the down to the peak low, $1.18. You're in the macro 236. Macro 236. You broke above it. You had candle formations above the macro 236 and you sustained it. And then you hit the 382, rejected it, obviously here. But you found a base at the macro from the low to the high at the 618, $4.12. This macro is from the all-time low to the all-time high. Low to high, high to low, and that's how you draw your Fibonacci levels. So price found a base at the macro also, 0.618, 412, and thus we're finding a little bit continuation at this bounce, okay? But when you're sitting above the macro 236, you have multiple candles sitting above the macro 236, you have a 80% chance of getting to the 382 macro, which we've done multiple times, twice, and it rejected. But this would technically be a double top, a large one, because it was weeks out. But now price found a base at the $4.12 and now finding a little bit of life momentum and trying to get back up into the 382, $6.50. This is still bullish. We found leverage. Obviously we broke into the 236 macro back again after we sold off. Price then tried to break out above the 382 and we failed. And now price bounced at a new higher low at the 618,412. Do you see where I'm going with this? This thing wants up. It wants up. Now we completely found a balance here. We found a balance at the 618 macro 412. So there's a lot that I love about this chart. There's a lot going on in this chart. All I can say is I'm gonna definitely keep an eye on this ticker, because if we break 382, this can get really stupid. 382 exactly is a key resistance level, because why? Well, it has been a monthly rejection zone here, here, and here. We break above 650, you have now exited this area, this bottom area, and you will no longer see this bottom area, and now you're just going to go hit up at the 0.5, then the macro 382, and then eventually at the scallop pattern continuation measurement rule, which is at the 618. This is bullish. Now, obviously, the macro and fundamentals do matter. You know, SPY. I spoke on this, multiple bearish divergences. But this pattern, whatever this company is or does, don't give a flying hoot. I trade the chart. This is bullish. Bullish. This reminds me of APLD days, when I found APLD back around $7 and then sold off for $3.88. Got into trade for months and I traded it and I was happy. This is another one of those things where I'm like excited because I'm looking at the macro perspective. I can't express to you how excited I am about looking at this chart. Okay? All you have to do is look at the patterns. What the hell is this? What is this company? Higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows. You're in a channel now. You're in an upside channel. Okay, so let's take a look at the EMAs real quick and I'll end this video very soon. All right, I'm just super excited about this ticker. This thing actually is crazy. So let's finalize on the EMAs. Where I see entry for myself, at least I'm definitely going to get in here. Okay, it pretty much subsided everything that I had in mind. But when I look at patterns like these are the ones that I don't want to miss out on. Okay, so let's turn off the noise. Go on the daily real quick. So we now found a base here. We have the 5 EMA, the 10, and the 20 EMAs now acting as support. Guys, this thing is now on a momentum run to the upside. Now, obviously, it was a rejection here at the 50 EMA, but thus price found at least price tried to break above this candle structure formation here exactly at 462. So we haven't broken out of 462 yet. So if we break above 462, then expect resistance at that 100 SMA, or likes to see 477. But we got to break above 462, otherwise it's going to come crashing right back down at 431, which I see a base as a clean support area. Okay, it can break below this 5 EMA, 20, and the 10, which it has done significantly. But look at the price bounce; it's at 431. If you notice the candles here, All right, we have a candle support here, candle support here, candle support here. Okay, and then obviously we whatever happened this day, but if it comes back down, I suspect 431 is a key support area, because if you look left, look at all this, look at this resistance and support, resistance and support. So 431, if we come back down, if we don't break above 462, expect to pull back. I'm not gonna, if it rejects this, then I'm gonna wait for the 431. Okay, I'm gonna wait for the 431. But right now, 5 EMA on the daily seems to be acting as support. I mean, it has flash crashes, right? Look at that flash crash candle here. Look at this wick here. Look at this wick here. So it does happen to flash crash. Must be the first hour of the day. I'm assuming look another one where it just completely just flash crashes down and then it just pushes up. So this thing is very, very interesting, but the trend is still intact. Thus, it's looking bullish. Okay? It's looking hella bullish. Okay? So we are trend traders. I'm a trend trader. This is looking really good. Whatever this company is, whatever the hell they do, I don't care. But this is screaming to try and test that 382 again at these lows. It's just trying to break out. It's trying to break out. And that's the most important thing, that it wants up. And if you look at the RSI above the center line, positive DI coiling up, MACD display histogram bar is is taller than the previous ones. That means buyers are stepping in. All right, and then your delta, you almost made it. You almost kicked the bears out. You're still down a couple 100,000, but the delta's looking good. The positive DI is looking good. Once you get the positive DI coiling, it looks like it wants to split between. It wants to like slingshot to the upside. If you notice this, look at the positive DI right here, folks. It's looking north. It's looking north. That's all that matters to me. So things are looking good. This might be the bottom until we have another initial move to the upside. Man, this ticker has me going. It has me excited. APPS, keep this on your radar. 100%. This looks like it wants to go green. And be very mindful of the macroeconomics. All right, be very mindful. This is also small cap stocks. It's very risky at the end of the day. So don't take risk if you can't. But look at your support areas. If we were to flash crash to the downside, well, where do you find support? Well, it looks like the 618 macro seems to be a key support area. If we break below 431, then the next support bounce will be 412, okay? So this is what I'm looking at, this little zone here. We're at a key point where we got to break above 462. We have to break above 462 to get this momentum to the upside. And then obviously 549 and then 650. But man, this looks good because this is now inside a scallop formation, okay? Scallop formation. You typically enter these trades once you break above B point, which is the pivot high. I mean, arguably it would technically be here, but I like to find a confluence when you have multiple candles trying to break out here. So this would be the pivot point here when you break above exactly 588 roughly. But once we hit here, hopefully we get the rejection and then the breakout. Man, this looks good. So thank you so much for watching. There was a lot to talk about. I couldn't stop talking about this ticker. I couldn't stop charting this thing. It's looking really, really good. So anyway, thank you so much. Join the Discord, like the video. If you like this sort of TA, I find these tickers and I post it on Discord first. You guys get the YouTubers get secondary. You guys get the secondary, okay, folks? So thank you so much for watching. You guys have a beautiful day.